Yeah.
So Las Cruces to New Braunfels, we talked about this the first time we chatted. Most people don't realize that you're not actually from Texas. You are the quintessential Texas artist, but you grew up in New Mexico, got here as soon as you could, essentially for school, and even your school choice was musically centric, right? Like you decided to go to Austin because you knew that there was a music scene there. But really, your musical experiences started in your brother's band at 14. So, what was that like? Just kind of immersing yourself into the bar scene at such a young age.
Yeah, I mean, I started playing in the band with my brothers when I was 14. They were 21. They're 7 years older than me, so we were playing in bars. But they would go because where I'm from, Las Cruces is only about 45 minutes from El Paso, and that was about as far as people like Pat Green and Corey Morrow and Jason Boland would get. But my brothers would always go watch them. They love Texas country music, and so I kind of got into it at a young age. We were covering all of those people too, and then I just was like, I'm going to go to UT. When I got accepted into UT, I'm going to go to Austin where there's a live music scene and all those guys play. And then also got a business degree and a lot of debt, but but it got me to Texas.
So, when did you start playing? Your guitar and I know you're also on piano. So 14, you're playing in bands, but what was your first experience playing?
Yeah, I was playing keyboards back then and singing harmonies, and then I would sing lead every once in a while. But I was kind of just like a side person. I wouldn't say I'm a great keyboardist or anything, but I definitely play piano better than I play guitar. But then, and when I went to college, my neighbors at the dorm, it was four boys, and they wanted to learn guitar to pick up chicks, and so I grabbed the guitar and I used to watch my brother's fingers because I never had time to practice because I was still in high school. And so I could watch my brother's fingers and play piano based on what he was playing. And so I just kind of played a few chords and then I thought, oh, I could do this. And so my cousin, he lives in Nashville. His name's Blue. He played steel guitar for Kenny Chesney and everybody, you name it. But he mailed me my first guitar to my dorm room my freshman year in college. So I didn't pick up a guitar until 18, and then it just makes a lot more sense as far as like going to play gigs. It's very portable. But piano will always be my first love. But I wish I would have taken lessons or something earlier in life. I mean, I'm self-taught and I didn't really start playing instruments until teenage years.
And so sometime I imagine it had to be sometime in college where music probably becomes more than just a hobby for you. Like there has to be kind of a realization in your mind where you're like, hey, you know what? I might be able to do something with this, like long term. Do you remember when that moment was?
Yeah, I mean, I remember my senior year, my last semester before I graduated, I was playing two shows every week. I had a Monday gig and a Friday gig. And I remember starting to drive to play shows, or I'd play Thursday and have to drive back to school, and I was like, okay, this is already I'm making this much per week, and it wasn't very much at all, but I remember thinking I could make this work if I did this more. And if I had my regular shows and I had merch and then I had started to record an EP. So I kind of knew my senior year that that's what I wanted to do. And that kind of, this focus kind of shifted. I still graduated with honors somehow. I don't know. Cause I was playing shows. And then I remember my last year I was worked as an intern at Macy's for my internship. So I would do that from like on Fridays from like 9 to 5, and then I would go play my happy hour gig from 6 to 8, and then I'd put on my tennis shoes and I'd go bartend from like 9 to 1 or something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was really just grinding from that point in my life. It was insane.
So when we love something, especially when it's something we're doing, we look forward to doing that thing. So you're talking about Monday and Friday. So I imagine when the Monday show is over, you're really looking forward to Friday, and when the Friday show is over, you're really looking forward to Monday. It's kind of the opposite of a real job, right? Quote unquote real job. Has that changed for you? Because it's been a couple decades since then. Are you? I mean, you're 100 shows a year, every single year. Does that longing for the next show still exist for you like that?
Yeah, I mean we have about 10 days off or something crazy. My band is all texting right before I got on here, like, we can't wait to be back on stage. We're gonna actually get together to practice this weekend, which is crazy, but we don't really do that a whole lot. And I still feel like the 90 minutes on stage is the easiest part of what I do, and it's what I crave, and it's what I love. And even if it's a bad show, it's still not a bad show, but even, if the crowd's light or something, it's still the most fun.
Hmm.
And I've told myself forever, if there's ever a time that I don't want to get on stage, then that's when I'll hang it up. But after 15 years, there's not a single time where I've been like, I don't want to do this part.
Well, they
This
say
is
that a
the part.
bad day of fishing is better than a good day of work, right? That probably
Yeah,
applies here, I imagine.
yeah.
So, what about some lessons that you learned from your mom and dad that still apply to you today?
My mom and dad are the hardest working people. They work so hard. I mean, I was just home and they both just work constantly, and they're just kind people, and they believe in quality products and just working hard, and they're incredibly humble. I don't know. I hope that I'm a fraction of all the things that I think about them, because they were both farmers, both grew up on farms, and they both started their own businesses. They're both entrepreneurs. So it's all the lessons that I took from them. I hope I'm doing them proud, but the music business is a little different than what they do.
Hmm.
But I think that everyone that meets my parents says that they're kind people, and I think that that's the most important thing for me, is to be kind.
I love that. That's a great answer. Kindness is effortless, man. People don't realize like so much effort is put into toxicity and negativity, and like I don't understand it, especially from like a keyboard warrior kind of thing where people are just trying to tear you down on the internet with no accountability and stuff like that. It's just so weird, man. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so much harder to be mean. I agree with that, and it's so strange. And then I've even had, maybe not my current team as much, but I've had people say, you need to act more, like it's almost,
PC.
or no, like not as nice. Like, I think,
Hmm.
like, sometimes people get farther in the music industry if they act like they're bigger than they are, and they kind of have an attitude, and they
Yeah.
have an air about them, and that just does not come easy for me, and I'm kind of unable to do that. And whatever, if I'm not super famous, but I'm still feel like I'm a nice person at the end of the day, like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, well, you have to be okay with that because I mean, that's the right way to go. A lot of people are going to feel that way too. And I think that's why a lot of people have that personable relationship with you, even if they've never met you. Like, that shines through. I want you to know that. It really, truly does. Like, it does shine through. So you talked about your education and how that ended up with a whole lot of debt for you. But
And
but I imagine this. I imagine this probably helps you too, because you did go to school for marketing, which does have a role in especially the indie side of music. So, how has that education come in handy for you when, if you didn't have it, you might have struggled?
I mean, I really think that college kind of prepares you for a lot of things, like especially just working hard and figuring things out, working with a team. I took accounting, finance, marketing. What's weird about it is I was a marketing major before social media. So I have a whole PR team now that handles all of that, because I can't even keep up with, you really can't keep up with it all anymore, as far as like the inner workings of the algorithms and stuff. Like,
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
no time, and it's so wild. But I feel like thinking creatively, thinking outside the box, knowing I do all my own books, I know where every dollar goes. I think all of it was beneficial. Plus, I made friends and memories for a lifetime, so I wouldn't trade going to college for anything.